Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver
Hey guys,
now.
roadtoruta.com. It is the end of the year. It is the beginning, about to begin the craziest month of your life if you live in the United States, probably everywhere in the world. The bad guys have 20 days to do whatever they're going to do. I am not sure what they're going to do with silver. You can with computer derivatives, you can put silver at minus $40, or you could put it at $1 million an ounce with a click of a mouse. So who knows what's going to happen there? For private road members, again, I have posted my analysis on the discussion that Andy Schechtman had with Judy Shelton about gold and sound money. Great discussion, Andy said, and I've added the Road to Ruta information that I have from the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. So go check that out on the private road. A lot of stuff I can't talk about on YouTube. I just got off with Sean at SGT Report. We just did a discussion. I'm going to post it later. He's going to post it later today. It'll be at the top of the Road to Ruta page. And we got into that type of stuff. And these next 20 days before the inauguration are going to be crazy. And the next 6 months, truthfully, I think, will be the most trying time in American history. Yeah, it's a big deal. What's happening is a big deal, and the bad guys aren't going to go out without expending everything that they have. So that's going to be very scary for everybody, including myself. But the key is not to be afraid, to move with positive feelings and hope and power into our future. And that's what I plan to do. Get your physical silver in your own possession, just like the United States of America is doing. They have physical gold and physical silver in their own possession. I believe they have the Satoshi 1 million Bitcoin in their own possession. The United States, the largest debtor nation in the world, will be the one that benefits the most from the collapse of the unbacked fiat monetary system because we have the largest debt on the planet, twice the size of China. And yeah, when you look at it that way, if you look at it, the United States is trying to do the same thing that we're doing. We're going to lock up all our physical silver that we can. The United States just happens to have a ton of gold. I think they've been adding to the nest, as the old head of the mint used to say when they changed the Silver Eagle. They're adding to the nest. They're putting more silver into Silver Eagles and preparing for the collapse of the fiat system, as well as the Bitcoin. I do believe that the United States has the Satoshi Bitcoin. I don't think the United States, I don't think it was the NSA that invented it, but clearly the United States was there in the early days. And the Treasury is more likely to have be in control of that than the NSA is. Was Alan Greenspan Satoshi? I don't think so. He clearly was the one who invented electronic banking, so he had a huge play. John Kennedy, the guy who invented BASIC, shareable computer programs, had a huge play. This is all through a remote viewing we did. So it was John Kennedy invented BASIC. Alan Greenspan invented the banking programs and the trading programs. And then Steve Jobs invented a way to walk around with your cryptos in your hand when he invented the iPhone. And then there's Satoshi. I think this guy is Satoshi. His name is Tatsuki Nakamoto. I've read many of his papers. They think he works for the NSA. He has been working on blockchain and cryptography for a very long time, and part of the remote viewing said the name Satoshi Nakamoto is an anagram type of thing where it kind of sounds like the actual person, and obviously Tatsuki Okamoto is very close to Satoshi Nakamoto. So I think it was him. Do I think he has control? No, I think the United States government has control. And that's why Trump is saying, hey, we're going into a golden age. We're going to have gold as money. We'll have silver as money. And we'll have Bitcoin to use as a store of value. It's not a very good use as money, but as a store of value, it's great. It's kind of like gold. So I think there's many better cryptos for the use as money, as cash spendable. Doge is a great one. It's classic. It's hysterical. And I think Elon will, I think competing currencies is great. And I think that's what we're going into, a world of competing currencies. If you listen to the discussion Andy had with Judy Shelton, She talks a little about that, the ability to have competing currencies. She's all for competing currencies. I think she's the one who's going to be ultimately in charge of either the Treasury or the Federal Reserve after the system breaks down. She's a very smart individual and has been studying the gold sound money policy forever. Close friends with Alan Greenspan, by the way, and yeah, it all links into the road to Ruta theory. I don't agree. She's talking about starting a 50-year bond backed by gold, and that's how we get the people used to a new gold standard. I think, no, that's a huge mistake, because nobody in their right mind would think that the United States would honor that promise for 50 years. It's just, it's ridiculous to even think about it, but that's one of her solutions. I think after the crash, yeah, you have a gold standard that is redeemable, the original gold standard, the global gold standard. Gold is money. Everything else is a derivative. So we'll see what happens, right? All right. Where was I here? Silver. A lot of people say, well, they're keeping silver below the moving averages. It is true. Silver is below the moving averages. I think this is end of the year painting the tape. Remember, these criminal banks have to mark to market their book, and right now they're underwater in silver. So the more they can slam it by the end of the year, that's today's the last day for reporting. So it doesn't matter what they did the last 3 months or the last year even. Today is the new benchmark that they have to record, the closing price on the Comex. So I do see January, February being a great time for silver to move up. Right now, it's below the moving averages, which is when India just completely loads up. Let me go to that chart right here. Let me show you just what it looks like. But being below the moving averages is so obvious for those of us who have been in the market for a long time. See right here, you're below the 200-day moving average. My guess is India will add 60 to 70 million ounces in December of their imports of silver. They did it. They did like 40, 30, and 40 right here when it was below the 100-day moving average. But back at the beginning of the year when it was under both the 100 and the 200, they had 1 month, I think it was 20, then 80, then 30. Massive amounts of silver were imported into India. The game works to perfection for them because they know, India knows exactly when to buy silver, because historically the handful of banks that naked short silver, they naked short it. With the volumes, it's all naked short. You can't do, there's 500 times the amount of derivatives being traded besides the underlying metal. And it is shocking, but it is the world we live in. Yes, they can click a mouse, put the price of silver at minus $40. They did it with oil. And I was like, it can't go below zero. They did it. Oh, it's a storage issue. How many times have we heard, it's a storage issue with silver? You don't want to invest in silver. It's too hard to store. It's like, okay, yeah, really? It's too hard to store silver. Yeah, what if you get 1 million ounces? Where are you going to put 1 million ounces? The reality of having 1 million ounces, what a great problem to have. Because silver is undervalued to gold by at least 80 times, 80x. Right now it's trading at 85 to 1. Actually, I don't know. Let me check. Let's check at what the silver gold ratio is right now. Because it was 85 to 1. And there's all kinds of monkey business out there. 90. It's at 90 to 1. Holy crap. 90 to 1. 90 ounces of silver buys you 1 ounce of gold. Wait till it goes 1 to 1. I guarantee you, in a freely traded gold and silver market, silver will go 1 to 1 with gold. Why? Because there's equal amounts on the planet available, supposedly. Now, they're saying 6 million ounces of silver are available, and they're saying 6 million ounces of gold are available, or 6 billion ounces. Do I believe it? No, I think there's more gold, massively more gold, and massively less silver. But remember, all silver is owned by somebody at all times. It's not like silver's lying around. That's not free. Everybody has to choose whether or not to sell your silver. As the prices rise, people don't sell. They want to buy more. Investors, at least. When it comes to the mining companies, they'll dig more silver out of the ground, but it's going to take years and years, up to 10 years from when you find the silver in the ground until when you build out those mines. New mines are being built out in that scale. So we're pretty much stuck with 800 to 850 million ounces being mined every year. Now, as the price goes up into the $100, $200, $300 an ounce, we will start recycling a lot more. At some point, they may even start pulling solar panels off of roofs. And the early solar panels had more silver than kind of the mid solar panels, but now they're adding even more silver to solar panels for the efficiency. And those will take a lot longer. I would say $300, $400 an ounce before you start pulling the new solar panels down, because they're going to last 30 to 40 years. And that's constant flow of free power from then on. And with the economic system destroyed, who knows if the large power companies are going to be able to deliver power. So people with solar panels are going to be going, thank God I got these solar panels. All right. Silver futures. As I said in yesterday's post, the exchange for physical option. That's where you buy a Comex contract, futures and options. You send it to the LBMA for delivery, supposedly. You send anything to London for anything, it runs into the criminal cabal of lying, cheating, and stealing. Not that they don't have that in the United States, but another exchange for physical, about 2.5 million ounces, which puts our total. I did the mathematics. If you go to Harvey Oregon blog, you can see every month how much EFPs were done. 1.36 billion, with a B, billion ounces were taken off the Comex exchange and put into London for delivery. And you add that to the largest delivery month in years on the Comex. This year was this month, I keep getting it wrong, 45 million ounces. 45, maybe 46 million ounces by the time the day's over, were delivered on the Comex in December. The vast majority of all the Comex deliveries, Bank of America was a huge deliverer this month, and we've talked about the JP Morgan continued manipulation game under JP Morgan customer now. But they are one of the main riggers. I would say the four number one riggers. Number one, JP Morgan Chase. Number two, HSBC. They were naked short the entire month. They run the book still for the U.S. Mint, which is a criminal organization right there. It's so sad that we can't trust the Mint anymore. So you got JP Morgan, HSBC, Bank of America did a massive structured deal for over 1 billion ounces with JP Morgan when JP Morgan had to divest itself of silver. I don't know if that was good or bad for silver, truthfully, because had JP Morgan dumped the 1.2 billion ounces that they had of physical on the market, they could have destroyed a hell of a lot more. But I think that silver ended up in the hands of some went back to JP Morgan, but most of it I think ended up with Warren Buffett and Elon Musk. Elon's not an idiot, and his companies can't function without silver. Just keep that in mind. So yeah, really exciting time for silver. Again, I said the end of the year stuff is just painting the tape. Illegally manufacturing a price low enough so that the losses in silver don't have to be reported. They can be hidden in all the other losses that these big banks have. A great interview at the Deep Dive with Keith Neumeyer of First Majestic. Great guy. I am not a holder of First Majestic stock. I'm not a holder of any stock. I think every country is going to nationalize their when the banks fail, when the derivative collapse happens. I think every country will nationalize it, and most mining companies are spread out throughout the world. I know First Majestic has a lot of Mexico mines. You think Mexico is tired of being shat on, being the largest supplier of silver to the rest of the world, while their people try to run away from their country? I'd be embarrassed if I was running the Mexican system. But if silver breaks free of manipulation, goes to $500, $600, $700, $800,000 an ounce, you will see the biggest reverse mass migration in history. Yes, they all came into the United States of America when Biden opened the borders. They're all going to run home when silver goes to $1,000 because they'd be better off. They came here to have a better life. If they call up their friends and family back at home, and friends and family saying, "Oh my God, mines are making money hand over fist. The government's just giving out free money to everybody. Everybody's so much better off in Mexico than in the United States." What are they going to do? They don't want to sit here and speak English. They're going to run back and enjoy the fruits of their own country, which I think they should. And the problem of immigration, reverse immigration, Trump doesn't have to throw everybody out. They're going to be running for the exits, running to get back home to partake in an amazing future for Mexico, having all that silver. I'm just solving all the world's problems right now, that's all. The Silver Institute, ridiculous joke of a organization. As I showed from the very beginning of me analyzing the last couple of years, they do not take into account that the amount of solar panels installed in the last 2 years, up 412%. Most of that, they switched to Topcon, which has more silver, and yet the Silver Institute only went up by 300%, the amount of silver used from 2022 onward. They are missing the boat, and they have completely missed that this year it will be over 400 million ounces of silver used in solar, and they're going to have it at 230. So they're a little more than half of what's really being used. Last year they were exactly one half. And all these numbers have changed from the historical numbers. I point that out here in red. The Silver Institute and Metals Focus did this on purpose to mislead the investing public. And it creates massive distortions. That's why we're going to run out of physical silver, and the price will still be $30, and everybody be scratching their head. How can the price be $30 when you can't get any physical silver? Because everybody would be buying it. Everybody would be trying to get their hands on it, and there just won't be any left. And then the Comex shuts down, and then we don't know the price of silver. That's where we're headed. And it could be in the next 20 days. Okay, quick comment on this. Veritaseum jumped to $94.34. I got so many emails because we've been giving away Veritaseum for a very long time, off and on. When the price would get slammed, we've given away one Veri token. Veritaseum, it was in Cliff's data as in the very beginning as going 1-to-1 with Bitcoin. So, and it's been hovering around $20, and then it jumped to 94 and back down, and now is at 67. It's all an illusion. The actual, it no longer trades on Mercatox, which is the only real exchange it was trading on. It is now trading on Trade Ogre. I don't know this exchange. I don't trust this exchange. And Doodoo, I don't trust either of these exchanges. I don't trust that you'll get, I'm sure you can buy it. I don't trust that you can get it off. Or if you put your Veritaseum in there to sell, I don't trust that you can get your money out. I don't know. But judging from the volume of trades, so what made Veritaseum go from $20 to $90? It was $9,000 in trades, which is nothing. That is not even comprehensible how little that is that can affect the price. And the reason the price went up so much is that nobody's on these exchanges. When Mercatox ended, there's no volume. Look at the volume is up 95,000% the volume in the last 24 hours to $27,000. $95,000%, 96,000% rise in the volume. What does that tell you? There's no liquidity at all. There's no exchange that really trades this stuff. Now, if Trade Ogre, if you guys can get your Veritaseum off of Trade Ogre, congratulations. You got a little bit of Veritaseum and at $67 or $90 or whatever you paid. Probably somebody put in a market order. The question is, can you get it? Did somebody just pay $90 for one Veritaseum token and they can't get it? I don't know. Veritaseum is interesting. Reggie has the patent for DeFi. Anybody in cryptos, these are things you got to know. Reggie has the patent for most of what is going on in cryptos now, and whether or not it is, and it was granted. The patent was granted. 2 patents in the U.S. and 2 in Japan, maybe 3 in Japan. Um, and everybody's shaking their head. I don't understand. I don't understand, Bix. What does that mean? Reggie was taken out by the SEC, I'm sure by the bankers. Told you need to take this guy out. They stole his company. They stole his patents. Maybe they stole everything. They stole his tokens. Actually, they froze his tokens. There's 98 million of the 100 million Veritaseum tokens that are frozen. There's no longer a link between the Veritaseum token and Reggie's IP. There was, but there's no longer there. And Reggie has talked about this quite a few times. He's not allowed to deal in cryptocurrencies. Is there anybody, any company who's been dealt with more viciously? Not even close. Not even close. And don't tell me XRP, people. It's not. XRP is in violation of Reggie's patent. Obviously, the things that XRP is doing is literally listed in the Reggie Middleton patent that got approved. So, XRP people, talk with Reggie at some point. I don't think. I think that the hype around XRP is 100% manufactured. I'm not saying it's a Ponzi scheme. I'm saying that the technology ain't that great, and there's no way in hell that the Federal Reserve or any of the banks associated with the Federal Reserve would use a system like that. They don't need to. Why would they? And I haven't heard any banker of significance come out and say, yeah, XRP is our next system that we're going to be working on. JP Morgan's more likely. JP Morgan has a system that's better than XRP. And will that be used? No, it won't be. Will the banks even be around? I don't think so. So, but congratulations to XRP people who saw the price go up. Voila. That's how it happens. And Veritaseum, the price is up, but you can't sell it. If you went in there, say, with 10 Veritaseum tokens and tried to sell them on Trade Ogre, the price would drop down to, $10 again or $15. Who knows? So don't get too excited. All the cryptos, there's a lot of, especially in Theta and T-Fuel, a lot of tax type of selling. Take some losses while you can and then buy it back in the new year. Well, if you get too many people doing that, you're going to get a big run. You're going to get the slam down, which we've seen, especially in Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, leads all markets because most of the trading on the exchanges are between Bitcoin and whatever other token there is. That's good for every token. A lot of like Tether type stuff is done as well, stable coin trading, but mostly it's Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up. When Bitcoin goes down, everything goes down. And I think Bitcoin in 2025 is going to be massive. I would venture to say double or tripling in 2025 from 93. That's up 250, 300 million, and the altcoins, the good altcoins, will blow by the triple. For Theta to triple, it's still well below its all-time high. So I think Theta's all-time high will triple at some point next year, which is, what was it, $14.42 Theta, which right now is trading at $2, so 10x for Theta. No, it's a 20x. 20x for Theta. Absolutely. People don't know what it is. And oh, by the way, did you hear the AMA in December when they said Theta will be trading on a U.S. exchange this year? Woo! And I bet you it's Coinbase. So massive amounts of people are going to start getting into Theta. Not to mention Samsung, Sony, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Azure. These are all partners of Theta. Of course they're going to support the token. It's not going away. Very interesting time in cryptos, in silver. Having said that, with the crashing of the system, I don't think any exchanges will be open. So we won't know the price of Bitcoin for probably a couple months. We won't know the price of silver for a couple months. We'll know it'll be very valuable until these markets get up and running again, until the criminals are taken out. No one's going to know the price of anything. I think that's what Cliff's data alluded to when it said the U.S. government would come to Reggie Middleton for help. That's how Bitcoin hits the price, or Veritaseum hits the price of Bitcoin, or goes over it, really, I think, either in market cap or in actual price per token. There's about five times as much Veritaseum tokens as there are Bitcoin tokens. ultimately, if Reggie's 98 million are released to him. And Trump has been kind of hinting, the Trump people have kind of been hinting that, the past attacks by the SEC on crypto companies, crypto people, some of them will need to be reversed. And I think Reggie's number one on that list. They're going to need to reverse the ruling against Reggie Middleton. And oh, by the way, luckily they froze the Reggie Middleton tokens, and he has one of the wallets. It's a multi-sig wallet that can release to himself. So the government can't take them without Reggie's consent. Really interesting times, and you can dig into this situation all you want, but in that scenario, that would mean that the brokerage houses are just gone, and they go to peer-to-peer stock trading, which would be interesting, and peer-to-peer everything. We will find out soon enough, right? Yeah, the end of the year is almost here. Go to roadtoroota.com for all the action. Again, I will be posting the SGT report discussion. We had a great discussion about things I can't talk about on YouTube. Go to roadtoroota.com, click on subscribe today. And we are currently giving away 5 Theta, 50 T Fuel, and 500 T Drop with every private road subscription. These are loaded on a paper wallet, mailed to your front door. Just stick it in your safe with your silver. Even if you don't know how to use cryptos, you'll have these in your own possession. I call this stuff physical crypto. If it's loaded on a paper wallet with your address and your private key, that's a physical crypto that you have. Just calling it that because it's on a physical wallet. As long as you don't, by the way, no sense in scanning this. There's zero on this wallet. But as long as you have, and you're the only one who has this, you're the only one who has access to it. So, yeah, that's with a 1-year subscription. This is Bix Weir, roadtoroota.com. I'll talk to you later.